Thanks for staying with us here on The Pulse. Now, away from that to other interesting stories, the New Patriotic Party has announced a tougher stance on the use of indecent and inflammatory language within the party as a race for its flag bearer position intensifies just months ahead of the January Congress. So far, 5 aspirants have filed their nominations to contest the party's top slot, with balloting set for tomorrow. Growing concerns have emerged over unguarded and divisive remarks from some aspirants and members of their campaign teams. Remarks that the party leadership fear could widen existing cracks within the NPP. In response, the National Council of Elders has established an ad hoc committee to closely monitor the conduct and utterances of all aspirants and their campaign members throughout the campaign and the election process. Let's bring you now details of that statement. It's coming up on your screens here on The Pulse. It reads that the National Council of Elders of the New Patriotic Party wishes to inform all aspiring presidential candidates, members of their campaign teams, and the general party membership that the ad hoc committee constituted by the council to oversee the conduct of the presidential campaigns has commenced work. The committee has begun monitoring comments, actions and public engagements of aspirants and their campaign representatives to ensure a peaceful, respectful and issue-based campaign in line with the values and traditions of the party. Accordingly, members of the party, supporters and general public are encouraged that if they come across any utterance, conduct and social media posts by any candidate, spokesperson or member of the campaign team that is deemed offensive, divisive or capable of inciting disunity within the party, they should promptly refer the matters to the committee. Such referrals should be accompanied by credible evidence and may be made either in writing or through direct communication via a phone call or social media platforms. They indicate WhatsApp. And then they put out numbers you can reach out to if you have any of such concerns. And that's the official statement put out by the ad hoc committee as they've begun their work. Let me bring in the chairman of the ad hoc committee. He's joining us live here on The Pulse. He's Dr. Kwesi Abesi. Thank you so much for your time here on The Pulse. Now, I'm just looking at this statement. What exactly constitutes an offensive comment from either of the candidates that are vying for the position?
Thank you very much. I forget your name, but...
My name is Faustina.
Right. What we are worried about is any kind of utterances that is likely to breed disunity, or that is likely to create a situation where after the election of the Flagbearer, it will be difficult for us to bring the parties together. So we are just saying that be a little careful in your utterances, especially the followers and the spokesperson. You know, we've had cause for concern based on the past campaigning, and we are only encouraging aspirants to be a little careful in what they say and put out there.
But what metrics really will you use to measure this?
It's not a question of measuring. I mean, if an utterance is bad, it's bad. And we will decide and will recommend to the Council of Elders whether it is worth pursuing or let it go. And indeed, we are trying to bring a family together. There's no hard and fast rule as to what is bad and what is wrong. Common sense will indicate to you that what you are saying either is not true or is offensive. And there are no hard and fast rules about this. We are just saying, be careful and relative courteous to your fellow aspirants, and especially the followers or supporters. They tend to be sometimes carried away by their their enthusiasm and tend to make certain unguarded statements. That's what we're talking about.
But then you make reference to guarded statements, really. It's a campaign season, and if I am highlighting the good of my candidates and painting the ills of the other candidates, would that constitute an offensive conduct, really?
No. If you are painting the good side of your candidate, that's no problem. But in painting what you think is the bad side of the other candidate, when it comes to coming together after the event, if you think we are going to have problem, just don't say it. Don't use it. Let the opponents use it if they have something like that. But don't give them ammunition. Unsolicited ammunition. That's all we're saying.
I'm asking because people have different sensitivities and perspectives to issues, and what is offensive to me may not be offensive to you. Wouldn't that be garden free speech, wouldn't it?
This is not a hard and fast rule about what is good and what is not offensive. Just be guided by if you think what you are saying is not offensive, go ahead. We will also decide whether it is offensive or not and take action. There's so much loose utterances that have gone on in the past, and we are trying to encourage people to be a little more cautious and courteous. That's all we are doing. There's no headmaster-student relationship here. We are not hard and fast about the rules of courtesy and so on. Just be careful. That's what we are saying.
And what are the likely sanctions I'm likely to face if I am found to make any comment that is offensive based on the ad hoc committee's findings?
Unfortunately, there are no hard and fast rules about sanctions. That's why we are trying to advise and encourage participants, especially the supporters. The supporters are likely to make utterances which they may not be sure of. We are saying just be careful, because at the end of it all, we are supposed to come together as a family to prosecute the elections ahead of us. And if we antagonize each other, then it will become more difficult to get it right. That's all we are saying.
So as we speak, you do not know the exact consequences that they are likely to face. Is that the case?
Eventually, the ultimate is either we will disqualify you or whatever the Council of Elders will decide. But we are just monitoring and making our recommendations known to the Council of Elders.
And just stay with me, really, because we want to flesh this out better and just get reaction from some of the key members of different camps. Yao Opoku is joining us from Yao Educhum's camp, as well as Kwesi Kwarteng from Kennedy Japon's camp. We appreciate your time here on The Pulse. I'll start with Kwesi Kwarteng. What's your initial reaction to this statement put out by the party?
Thank you very much. First of all, the team Kennedy Japan wants to commend the efforts of the Council of Elders in making sure that they keep this campaign very peaceful, very united. And of course, the campaign is run on issue base. Our comment as a team is that we pledge our full commitment to it. And it's something that we've been doing. If you check the utterances of our candidates, at least ever since this process began, those of his official spokespersons, you realize that we have already been aligning in the path of peace. And of course, our campaign has always been based also on issues. And so at no point will we say that we'll digress from something that we've already started. And so yes, it's a good call. We commend them. We are grateful to them. We'll remain committed to any process that will unite the party and ensure that there is a peaceful electoral process. Maybe as part of the work of the committee. And of course, I mean, this is just a humble suggestion. They should also institute a reward scheme. And I'm sure by now, Team Ken will be rewarded for also abiding by our constitution and also playing a campaign very safe and in a very decorous path. Because, I mean, even amidst all the provocations that we've seen on social media, some of them even from high-profile members of the party, some of them even being regional chairman of the party, you have realized that we've not really also responded in equal measure or in the interest of peace. So maybe at some point too, they should also institute a reward or award mechanisms for teams that has demonstrated the ultimate mark of decency. And I'm sure if they are to start, Team Ken will win. But all in all, we are good. It's a good call, and we'll support it.
Percy, stay with me. I'll come back to you for updates on that petition you filed to the party, as well as other key issues when it comes to the campaign so far. But let me bring in Yao Poku-Mensah just to start with your initial reaction to this new directive from the party.
Let me say good afternoon to yourself and to esteemed members of the other side and to our lovely viewers. We initially had a meeting to discuss the modalities in ensuring that we do have a well-thought-through communication system generally for the party. I would have said that with Dr. Yosef, probably this may be singing to the choir, but once we are part of that larger body, with the sole mindset of ensuring that the integrity and the reputation of the party is intact, something which we all can attest to the gentlemanliness of Dr. Yosef with how he has managed his campaign so far, which is strictly based on issues preaching prosperity to the people and bringing hope to the rank and file of the party, with the focus of ensuring that at the end of the day, the party's interest is what remains supreme. We would have said that we are not part of those who are fomenting trouble with regard to communication and hate process. But we think, and I personally think that this is a good call, a call that we initially had a meeting on to look at the modalities and what is expected of all the camps with regards to communicating for our various candidates with the sole aim of having the party's interest at heart. And what the party expects is what we are supposed to do according to the dictates of the rules of engagement governing this whole process. It's a good call. We already didn't wait for us to be told as to the parameters, what to use, the kind of language to use in engaging delegates, how we are dealing with delegates, the candidate himself, how he has carried himself so far. It's to the admiration of the entire party. And I strongly believe that it's a good call for the other candidates to emulate Dr. Yosef in ensuring that we do protect the integrity and the reputation of the party. That is why this process is of vital importance for our social cohesion. It's of vital importance for the future ahead of us after 31st January 2026. And it's a call that we are glad to have. But once the party has indicated its willingness to ensure that there is sanity in the system, I made this call at the committee level. I want to reiterate it again, that there are party officials whom we all look at. But if they begin to take sides, then it begins to mark the whole beauty of what the party is asking the various aspirants to do. I think we also have to alert the party leaders in check to ensure that we do have a fair playing field. We do have no biases with regard to supporting a particular candidate or whatever platform that candidate wants to use. All said and done, at the end of the day, it's the interest of the party that we are all seeking for. With the camp of Dr. Yosef, we have won from. That is what we've been doing. All these were since we started the campaign, and that's why when you go to the internet, you can hear or see or read a story about any negative publication from our camp, and we expect the other camps to emulate that same gesture for the sanctity of the party that we all have to be in. And at the end of the day, we know Dr. Yasser should lead the party wouldn't have a clear task of bringing all of us together. Once we start on the criminals, we are going to finish on the criminals come 31st January and beyond with the leadership of Dr. Yasser.
Stay with me, Opoku. Let me bring back the chairman of the ad hoc committee just to address some of the concerns that's been raised. We know there is no blueprint really to determine what comment is offensive or not. And that's one of the key concerns being raised by other contenders. Moving forward, I want to see that there is no favor aligned to any individual or any contestant. Is that something that your ad hoc committee can assure?
First of all, let me thank Kwesi and Yao for their forward-looking comments. I am happy that they agree that it's a good call. Let us all work together and make sure that we have a good campaign. Having said that, whether we see something as offensive or not, this will be discussed with the particular consultant and his team. And if we think we must recommend something to the Council of Elders, then we go ahead. After all, this is a family affair, and we don't want to antagonize any group or make anything that would prove detrimental to our common good. What we are looking at is a victory in the eventual elections, and we all have to come together and put our hands to the wheel. So all we are asking is that just be a little measured in your activities. And they have assured us, we are also assuring them that we are going to do our best and be impartial. I'm almost 80 and I have nothing to lose by being fair. So you can be sure. I know all the contestants, they are all fine gentlemen. This is just to reassure ourselves that we are all playing by the rules of the family norm. So that's what I can say. I can promise them that there's not going to be any bias or any mischief on our part.
Okay, thank you so much, Doc. Let me bring in Dr. Ashanti, a political scientist, as we analyze the implications moving forward. Doc, we're just hearing from the party. Just tell us how exactly they hope that the contestants will conduct themselves ahead of that crucial election in January. What's your thoughts?
Faustina, thanks for the opportunity and good afternoon to my seniors out there and then viewers. It is a good call in the first place that there should be some modicum of, control relative to how they pursue the agenda of political campaign. But the difficulty lies in some of the questions you posed to Dr. BAC, and I didn't get the response that I think would deal with this problem head on. I agree with the party that some measures ought to be taken to ensure sanity within the political space, because take it or leave it, this is family contest, and that whatever you come out which is negative will become the building materials for opposition to launch on it and use it for campaign ultimately. So this call is a good one. But you pose a question to Mr. Dr. BAC as to the metrics. How are you going to measure that? And he couldn't give you an answer. It tells you that it's going to be a difficult exercise, because then it's going to be an omnibus type of program that defining it is a problem. That said, there is also the difficulty that a scheme like this should go with sanctions so that people will be very much alive to the fact that when you cross the line, you are not going to be spared, you are going to be sanctioned. And these are the sanctions. And we didn't get that. So people will take it that it's business as usual, and that when I flout whatever they call rules of engagement, nothing will be, prescribed to me in terms of punishment. And that makes it difficult. Another thing is that how are you going to even, yes, the contestants themselves and then the key spokesmen and all that will stay within the rules. But what about their supporters who are on social media, insulting, attacking, using very, uncomplimentary language and all that? How are you going to what? These people, parties could hide behind these people, throw jabs into the system, and disorganize the whole process. And that is going to be difficult for Dr. BAC and his team to measure. That another thing that is going to be also be difficult for him is that if we are campaigning and I have chance upon information that I can use against you in the area of corruption, and I have all the fact and all that, can't it launch it against you? Is it wrong for me to come out with it? If they want to block this, then I'm afraid that is going to be an exercise in futility, that nothing good will come out. But I know that the party has thought through the thing that is a good thing, and I know it's also a good call. But there are difficulties: one, with measurement; two, enforcement; and three, we have also seen time and again that the party comes out, don't start campaign now until we do this, that. People cross the line and no punishment is given to them. So this time, what is going to be different? I don't know. Dr. BAC and his team has a Herculean task if they want us to believe that this one will come out with something different and it will bode well for the party. We wish them well.
Thank you so much, Doc. Do I still have Dr. BAC with me? It's important I bounce off this question on you. I was asking you about the determination for the sanctions. You say that the ad hoc committee would meet, but what's the highest sanction an individual may have to face if they are found to have flouted some of these laws that you're putting out today?
I'm glad that Professor Ashanti, is it? Dr.
Ashanti, yes.
Ashanti, recognizing that it is a difficult task. And we are going to try our best to be fair. And of course, there are sanctions depending on the gravity of the infraction. But we are hoping that there will be few infractions which are not as serious as would require very specific sanctions.
Okay.
It's been also suggested that we must reward those who are playing by the rules and going as we have suggested. I can only assure them that we will take those suggestions on board. As for the difficulty of meeting our sanctions, we will leave that to the very last resort and hope that as a family we understand each other and we will go by the recommendations that we are making. Again, I'm glad that they've all taken the call in good faith, and we hope to have a good time in electioneering campaign.
So, but you still haven't answered my question. You made mention of disqualification. That is open, right? It's part of the sanctions that one is most likely to face. Is that not?
That is the worst kind of sanction we will have to recommend. But as much as possible, we are resisting the temptation to be trigger happy. We are going to encourage our people. After all, there are only 4 or 5 of them, and we believe that they are honorable people, and they will go by our suggestions. It's only an appeal.
Okay.
And hello?
Yeah, Doc, I can hear you. Please make the point.
Yeah. I say it's only an appeal, but an appeal that goes with all our heart in it. And we hope that the aspirant. More difficult is the question of supporters. And that is always a difficult portion because the aspirants don't have real control over their supporters.
So how do you plan to tackle that, really? Because we just heard from Dr. Ashanti raise concerns about social media and how supporters can unleash, their words on those platforms. How do you plan to deal with that? Will a candidate be sanctioned for the activity of a supporter?
They can be sanctioned. They cannot be encouraged to take some action by advising their supporters to refrain from such actions. They cannot be sensitive. You know, social media, and including media people who ask all sorts of questions, and we have to comply. And so social media is so vast and can be so dangerous that you can't really sanction anybody for what they do on social media. In any case, most of them hide under the anonymity of social media. So it's difficult, and we have a very short time within which to operate. So we don't think we had the luxury of going after people who use social media to create confusion. This is a family affair. We are appealing to members of the family to obey the rules, as it were. And we are hoping, as they've all agreed, that we have to do something about it.
And then just before I let you go, another key concern that has been raised is the fact that some key members of the party have started already aligning to different candidates. A key question that I'll pose to you is that of the concern being raised by the General Secretary of the party about comments of the Bono, if my memory serves me right, the Bono Regional Chairman, Abroye DC, about the party, and that is already in the public space. How are you dealing with that? Because I know that the General Secretary had officially petitioned the party to look into it.
Yeah, there are two ways we are looking at that. I happen to be on the disciplinary committee, and the General Secretary has referred this to the disciplinary committee, but I'm not a lawyer. But I think, in all fairness, once the case had been taken to court, we should allow the court proceedings to progress, and after that, we will take a look at the disciplinary action that the party can take. That's my view. Of course, I will have to consult my other colleagues who are lawyers to give us an interpretation. But we definitely deal with it. It's becoming too much.
Thank you so much, Doc, for your time here on the Pulse. I have to let you go now. Let me just wrap up with Kwesi Kwarteng and Yaw Poku. Kwesi, your final words. I was just asking for updates on that petition you officially filed to the party.
Oh, so it wasn't a petition properly so-called.
Okay.
It was just a public communication to the party to act by initiating or instigating or triggering the required disciplinary process. Interestingly, there are other party members who have, even beyond what we wrote or put out there, has actually petitioned the party to act in that regard. The party has communicated back also within the same public space that they've taken notice of the petition and they will act on it accordingly. So that is with regards to the concerns that we raised about the conduct, the anti-party conduct of the chairman of Ashanti Region and also chairman of Bono Region, Chairman Wontumi, and Mr. Abroye. So let me say at this point, it's in the hands of the party, and they are clothed with the powers to act on it. But finally, I am of the view that all this conversation that we are having, already there are processes in ensuring that we promote the peace and unity in the party, vis-a-vis in terms of the comments that spokesperson and even candidates are to meet. So I am very hopeful that these are all parts of the processes just to augment an already existing scheme or existing process in ensuring that we have a very peaceful, free, fair, issue-based campaign and electoral process. And like I indicated earlier, Team Ken is more than committed to pledge its support to making sure that it becomes fruitful.
Okay, thank you so much for your time here on the Pulse. Let me bring in Yaw Poku for your final words. Yaw Poku, can you hear me? quite faintly, though. Please make your point, and let's see if you can be audible enough for us.
Okay, so the point I was making, I have the opportunity to national committee with regards to this.
Oh dear, Yaopoku, I'm struggling to hear you. There's a problem with your sound. I don't know how best we can rectify that so that you can make your point. Well, it's a bit better. Let's try again.
Okay. So what I was thinking, so the communication output, the national communication director, we had an engagement where the various aspirants were committed themselves to working on a specific code of conduct. Which comes with sanctions at the end of the day. What I want to make the national communication output to do, what we discuss and committing various aspirants to this very code of conduct.
Yaopoku, still we can't hear you. I'll try to let my producer raise you on the phone line so that we can try again. But as we wrap up the conversation, let me just bring in Dr. Asante for his final words.
Firstly, I think it's a good call, as I've already said. It is my hope and prayer that they will be able to define what constitutes wrong in this contest. Because without that definition, you cannot sanction. There should be a definition of, in inverted commas, begin and close, crime. And then out of that, you can come up with sanction. Without that, how can the sanctions be applied? Then it's going to be applied on something which is omnibus in nature. They have a Herculean task, and I don't know how they can deal with it. And it's also against the backdrop that supporters can also be out there and do their own thing, can throw all manner of jabs into the process. And if they don't take a very good and useful course that they want to have, will be in jeopardy. But in all this, I wish them the best, because I'm a student of democracy. I believe that political parties must exist and play the role to support the cause of democracy in this country.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kwame Asante, a political scientist, joining the conversation here on the Pulse. Fortunately, we still don't have clear connection to Yaopoku, but point well noted. Thank you so much for your time. And still on the NPP, we know that the party's Ashanti Regional Chairman, Bernard Intribisiaku, popularly called Chairman Wontumi, remains in custody 2 days after the High Court granted him a 15 million Ghana cedis bail with 3 sureties, 2 of whom must be justified with landed property within a court's jurisdiction. He faces charges related to alleged illegal mining activities in the Tano Nimri Forest and in Samreboy, all in the Western region. We will speak to lawyer for Chairman Wontumi shortly here on the Pulse. But first, what are the bail conditions that Chairman Wontumi is yet to fulfill? We heard from his lawyer tell us that they have met the bail conditions, but verification process is ongoing. My colleague Kwekwa Santi of our legal desk has been tracking the procedure so far. He filed this report.
Charges were read to Chairman Wontumi in court on Tuesday. He pleaded not guilty to all the counts. In the first case, which relates to the alleged unauthorized assignment of mineral rights and facilitation of unlicensed mining, the Ashanti Regional NPP Chairman was granted bail in the sum of 15 million cedis, with 3 sureties, 2 of whom must justify with landed property. The court further ordered that he be placed on the stop list at all points of exit, effectively barring him from traveling outside Ghana, and report to the CID investigators on the 1st and 3rd Monday of every month. In the second case, Chairman Wontumi faces accusations of illegal mining within the Tano Nimiri Forest Reserve, which allegedly resulted in the destruction of 13 hectares of land, the felling of over 300 trees, and the erection of unauthorized structures within the protected forest. For this case, he was granted bail in the sum of 10 million cedis, with 2 sureties, 1 of whom must justify with landed property. So in 2 cases, the bail sum 25 million cedis. After proceedings, Chairman Wontumi was handcuffed and escorted by officers from the police CID. He has since remained in custody as his lawyers work to meet the bail conditions. 48 hours on, these conditions have not yet been fully satisfied, and Chairman Wontumi remains in police custody pending the execution of his bail. Kwekwa Asante for Joy News.
Well, yesterday here on the Pulse, we spoke to lawyer, one of the lead counsels for Chairman Wontumi, Andiapia Kubi, and he expressed concerns over what he described as the cumbersome verification process linked to the bail conditions. He revealed plans to petition the judiciary as well as the Ghana Bar Association over the matter.
We have met the bail conditions as you rightly put it, but we have not been able to secure his release because of the verification process, even as we have submitted the next document. So we are waiting for the order. But it is important that the process of bail and what it requires, because bail ought not to be used as punishment, and therefore the grant of bail must also not come along with stringent conditions that are difficult to meet. So I believe we need to discuss that, and once we have the opportunity, we'll indicate the processes that you go through, even as the court will have given you an order that bail is granted.
As counsel for Chairman Wontumi, are you concerned about the bail conditions?
I'm concerned about the bail conditions, not particularly in respect of Chairman Wontumi, but as a process, judicial process, I'm concerned because it seeks to undermine
Dr. Kubi, you have to position rightly. Since we're losing you intermittently, is your concern that the process is cumbersome?
The process is cumbersome and expensive. You know, when you are granted bail with surety to be justified, it means you need to send out as free. And what it is that the value, the amount by the special bail, you have free property that amount, that says free or even more. When you want to send out the document, it needs to go through of verification and valuation, and of that need money, because when you go to valuation board, the land or the land verification, you have to pay their statutory fees. When you see for verification, the value you have to pay one of the value of the property. Assuming you are you are coming from the Attorney General who doubles as the Minister for Justice. You see, it means that the whole system is incorrect.
Well, let's bring in a conversation here on the Pulse. Joining me now is former director of the Ghana School of Law, Kwekwansa Asare. I appreciate your time here on the Pulse. We've just been hearing for lead counsel for Chairman Wontumi raise concerns about the process, the verification process, which he says is cumbersome. What's your thoughts on this from a legal perspective?
I'm inclined into agreeing with him 100%. 2 days ago, I did state that the bail conditions for Wontumi seem to be excessive. I think that the police, have to do something about it, and so that, as far as I'm concerned, he stands ready, to appear to take, his trial. So let the police relax the bail conditions a little bit, so that we can fulfill them. And let justice be seen to be done in the circumstances of the Wontumi case.
And we just heard from him tell us that he's willing to petition the Ghana Bar Association, really, on the verification process. You've been in court a couple of times. How long does it really take to verify some of these documents?
It has always been on a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
So one cannot lump, the cases together. Every case depends on its own, merits and the severity or the bail conditions, always depend largely on the gravity of the offense. And at first sight, this may, look like a political case. But upon second thought, it is the long arm of the criminal law, that is seeking to catch, Chairman Wontumi. If I were Wontumi and his lawyers, what I would do, would be to, make it possible, whoever is standing surety for me to produce the desired route of title. I disagree, that the police have to go to the house and inspect. We are not dealing with physical, structure. We are dealing with the documents of title in respect of the property, the landed property, that the surety, is using to secure the bill. That is different from the investigator wishing to know, where Wontumi lives. In law, we call that, his place of abode, his last place of abode. What the law requires is that, the investigator, shall know where the accused person stays, so that from time to time, if he wishes, to extract some information from the accused person, he knows where to find him. That is different from the landed property, to be used to secure, the bill. That one, the police, will have to cooperate with the sureties to go to land commission, for a verification of the root of title. Sometimes the person brandishing the title document may not be the lawful owner. The document, might have been stolen. The document must have been falsified and all that. So it is only at the land. And even land these days, one is not 100% sure, because the land people themselves, are now caught in the habit of falsifying documents. So here, the police will have to ensure that the documents the land people are producing are indeed genuine documents and not fake or forged documents. That takes, some time. And therefore, I would rather plead, with the powers that be, that the whole thing is, turning into a political crackdown or witch hunt, and that is not giving, the country a good image. Therefore, let the court relax or soften the bail conditions that Chairman Wontumi, can fulfill the conditions, and then, in the eyes of the public, some justice is being administered. But as it is now, it is like Yenyano will punish him for all the bad things he said about the incumbent president. And I don't think that is right.
Another key concern, we went to court, we challenged this as a country, non-bailable offences, but it appears that the conditions set for bail is making it even difficult for individuals to get out of police custody. Your thoughts on how we can fast-track the verification process as a country?
Well, that will require an amendment of the Criminal and Other Offences Procedure, Act, formerly known as the Criminal Procedure Act, Act 30. The police have no power to amend. It is only Parliament, that can, amend and otherwise statutory provision that is imposing a severity, on the need to do justice, as the circumstances of the case may dictate. So it is not, something that can be done today or tomorrow. Let's Wontumi's lawyers, approach the prosecution in such matters. You dialogue with the prosecution. Go and see the Attorney General. He has all the prosecutorial powers. Not the president, not the police. The police are agents of the Attorney General. So no one should blame the police. The defense and the prosecution must sit down and dialogue, and then come to some form of agreement. These things are done from time to time. It can even extend to plea bargaining. Because if you look at the charges proffered against Wontumi, you will see that they are not trivial charges. They are very serious charges. And if I were in Wontumi's camp, I'd rather fast track the whole thing so I get back my freedom. So if they are also going to pick and choose that the prosecution is delaying, they are looking at it from the lens of punishment or all that, it is Wontumi who will continue to suffer. So let the right thing be done. Let the Wontumi camp realize that it is by insisting on things being done the right way, it is Wontumi who will suffer. So approach the Attorney General, plead with the Attorney General. Today we do this, next day we are, so please, please, it is our liberty, that is now in jeopardy. Our liberty is at stake. And we think that, as a fellow Ghanaian, whatever we have done, whatever we did in the past, we are sorry. Let people learn to say sorry, once a while. And they say, but if you take an entrenched position, can you fight officialdom? You can't. So just go back, eat your humble pie, and plead with the Attorney General, who has the most say in this matter. If they try to turn to the president, he doesn't exercise those powers. It is the Attorney General or the Director of Public Prosecution. If you approach the Director of Public Prosecution, he or she will suggest that you can see, the organ himself. That is the Attorney General. So just say, sorry, maybe I did something in the past I shouldn't have done. I'm sorry about that. I've learned my lesson. And therefore, please, we are talking of justice. Show some, sympathy. That's all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Asante, for your time here on The Pulse. Away from that, let's shift our attention now to the health sector. The Health Facilities Regulatory Agency, HEFRA, is stepping up its enforcement drive to ensure that all health facilities in the country meet the highest standards of operation established under the Health Institutions and Facilities Act 2011. HEFRA is mandated to license and monitor both public and private health institutions to guarantee quality healthcare delivery. As of yesterday, the agency had shut down about 17 health facilities found to be operating under unsafe conditions and posing serious health risk to the public under its fresh crackdown. The acting registrar of HEFRA thankfully joins us here on The Pulse, Dr. Winifred Ba. We appreciate your time here on The Pulse. I just want you to update us. I know that you've spent your whole day visiting facilities. What's the update on the number?
Good afternoon to our cherished listeners.
Good afternoon,
sir.
I
want to thank you all for your support. I think you have been with us through all of this. We are just doing what we have been set up to do to ensure that the public is protected. That when you walk to a health facility, you have confidence that at least they will not harm you. They will help you to get the healing you are looking for. Unfortunately, there are a number of health facilities that are either not licensed or operating with expired license. The reason why regulation is important, just like the aviation industry, is the tightest when it comes to regulation, because when there's an accident, fatality could almost be 100%. But we've forgotten that a lot of people die in the hospitals from preventable things that we could have done, preventable conditions. Some of them were wrong, probably wrong injections, medication errors, and all of that. Until we tighten our regulations, all these errors will come. And I always tell people, one, that anybody can be a patient at any time. You could be walking somewhere, get a scorpion bite or a snake bite. You'll be taken to the next facility. What about if they don't have what it takes to get you ready? Before you travel to Accra or somewhere else, it will be late. So it is in the interest of everyone to support HEFRA so we can regulate. Number two, it is important to know that when people are not licensed, we are not sure whether the people offering the service are qualified to. We are not sure whether they have the correct equipment to provide the kind of service that they have to provide you. We are not sure whether even the premises is safe. And that is why we have decided to do what we have been mandated to do and to enforce the laws. To enforce the laws. So that is what we have been doing. So far, as of today, we have closed down 17 facilities, and my team is still on the grounds.
And tell us about these facilities. Where are they, and what are their offenses specifically?
All right. Sure. So far, we've started from Greater Accra. So all the facilities are in the Greater Accra region.
All 17 of them?
Yes. Moving to Ashanti region, to Volta region, and Eastern region. And then we will continue. So there were some, and I don't know whether you got our pictures, we will share with you. One of the facilities is not fit for purpose. The place is dilapidated, not sanitary. So as for that, we've closed them down, and the person is already in court.
What facility is this?
I will not be able to mention the name.
Okay.
But I can show you pictures later.
Okay.
Now, the others, some of them, their licenses have expired. So we've locked them down. A few of them, some of them have come to the office to regularize it. Once we lock you down, you have to come and go through the proper registration. We schedule to come and do inspection, make sure that everything is correct. Then we give you a license. It is only after that that the facility will be reopened. That is for those who are okay. Once we find out that you are satisfactory, then we will reopen it for you to start work.
But why not name and shame? Because really, as a consumer, I cannot tell which facility is licensed or not. And based on the information you're providing us, some facilities have not been licensed for decades now, and they're in operation. So why not name and shame? That way I know where to visit and where to refrain from visiting.
Sure, that's very important. So according to the law, it is even an offense, even if you have a license, it is an offense not to display your license openly for patients to see. So every facility is supposed to display their licenses openly at places where patients will see. So when you are going to any hospital, any lab, any pharmacy, whichever health facility it is, you have to look for the HEFRA certificate, the HEFRA license. Then you are sure that at least this facility can provide you or has been certified to provide safe and quality care. So for the general public, please, you go to any health facility and they don't have the HEFRA license, don't go there. Just move away and go to one that is licensed, because we cannot assure you that you will get good, safe, and quality care. So you are supposed to look for them.
But some of the licenses, though on display, are expired.
Yeah, so once it's expired, it means that that facility is not safe. And so you do not have to go there. And we also want to appeal to the public. If you go to any facility and you don't see a HEFRA license or they are not licensed, please, our numbers are all over out there. Send them to us. Just give us a tip-off. Most of the things we are doing, we've gotten tip-off. Apart from our own monitoring, some of them too, we get tip-offs from people. So just send them to us, and then we will go after them. We are really resetting the health sector, because I think that we should avoid unnecessary deaths and unnecessary harm to patients. And I would want all of us to support HEFRA so we can sanitize the system. Like I said, you can be the richest person in Ghana or the poorest person. When you are not well, there are certain situations, they will take you to the nearest facility. And if it's a quack one, that will be it for you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Winifred, for your time here on The Pulse. You're still watching The Pulse. When we return, we'll be hosting a special guest from the Clean Energy Challenge. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Studios are we, students of Presbyterian Secondary School. Onward we march, we trudge along to happy victory. To victory, to victory. Our motor is a solid work propelling us along. Illuminate, with the beam of lumen. In thy light, we shall see light. Illuminate, with the beam of lumen. For Christian training we get a sure solid foundation to take our places in the future of our country and church. For Christian training we get a sure solid foundation to take our places in the future of our country. Oh, come along and join us. Oh, come along and join us. Happy studios are we. For Christian training we get a sure solid foundation to take our places in the future of our country and church. For Christian training we get a sure solid foundation to take our places in the future of our country. Oh, come along and join us. Oh, come along and join us. Happy studios are we.
And we're indeed thrilled to host the Renewable Energy Heroes Presbyterian Boys Secondary School. They join us in the studio today, and they have just been crowned champions of the 6th edition of the Renewable Energy Commission Challenge. And we're looking forward to have a conversation with them. In fact, I have the whole squad in the studio. Now, if you haven't dated anybody from Presbyterian Boys, this is the best time to look for one. Look for one. And so join me in the studio. I have Edu Kwabna-Yeboah. Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you, ma'am.
Hey, the champions of the year. Your voice is down. I'm going to take the trophy from you. I also have Ryan Niakwe and joining us in the conversation as well. I have Francis Mbasa and, of course, Bernice Norte. She's officer for the Renewable Energy Regulation Energy Commission. Thank you so much for your time here on The Pulse. Hey, champions, I'm so glad because I can see your trophy over there. Please bring it to me. Let me hold it for the meantime. Yes, please. Hey, it's heavier than expected. But how does it feel, though? You are champions. Let me start with who? Francis, let me start with you. Walk us through the process for you and emerging winners. You must have been tense throughout the process.
I mean, throughout the competition, it's been quite, as you said, tense. I remember the day when the theme came out. We first read the theme, Renewable Energy for a Healthier Future, right? And then we began to brainstorm, we began to think of ideas that we can solve. And I mean, the process of coming up with an idea, envisioning it, designing it, building it, and then taking it to a competition to compete with other schools, I think it's a very thrilling experience. It's an experience that not a lot of people get to have. And we are very grateful to have such an experience and even to come out as winners.
And then let me go to Ryan, really. What was that idea that clinched you this wonderful trophy?
So when we got the theme, we were looking at a healthier future. So we looked at what issue could we solve within the Ghanaian society. And obviously, to every society, there are two halves. There's the urban half and then there's the rural half. And then we looked at an issue which could solve the issue of lack of accessible healthcare in both rural and urban societies. So then we pitched the idea of a self-service station which takes your vitals and then sends it to an AI consultancy. So it's basically able to deliver the same services a typical healthcare provider, such as a doctor or a nurse, provides without going to an actual hospital. Thereby saves you the time of going to a hospital, which saves both time and money in urban areas, and then it provides that same services which are not available in rural areas.
You had over 120 participants, right? So let me come to Kwabna. Were you tense at any point in time? Did you feel that you could win this, looking at the competitors from across the country with different innovations?
Well, I would say it's a challenge. You should expect competition. And by God's grace, everything went on well. At some point in time, we're feeling tensed and everything, but well, we still pushed through. And by God's grace, we clinched it.
And the trophy is quite nice. I will take it home just for inspection to be sure that, you know, it's original. But then let me bring in Bernice at this time. It's been quite a tough tough process for you, I'm sure, organizing, bringing all the students together. How has it been so far?
Okay, so yes, it's quite tough, but we've had the assistance of the Ghana Education Service and the Ghana TVET Service helping us. So the regional coordinators in each region, we coordinate with them, and then they help us get the students on time and then to a place where we can have the regional competitions. So they were able to gather all the students. We send out the themes. They work with the heads of the departments, the headmasters of the various schools to get all the schools at one particular point. Some regions have more than 10 schools expressing interest in the competition. The regional coordinators would then organize a preliminary competition to get their best 10 schools. Then on the day of the competition, we work with them and then we get our winner.
I know that you had like a crack team looking at the different entries and finally selecting the winners. What influenced your choice?
Okay, so for each stage of the competition, we look at the projects that the students bring.
Okay.
Then we find experts in these areas to be able to judge appropriately. So for the finals, we had somebody from the health sector, we had somebody from the academia, and we had somebody who is a renewable energy expert. Because we are looking at where the projects that came to the finals were health delivery, food security, and then waste management. So we need to be able to have people that are well-versed in these areas so that when the students present something, they will be able to give constructive criticism to the things that the students are presenting, and they will be able to judge appropriately. So we don't just pick anybody to be a judge. We actually look at the projects that the students are presenting. Then we pick experts in the fields to be able to judge.
And this year you have lifted the scale. What should we expect in next year's edition, really? That's the big question on our minds.
Well, we just finished this year. At least give us a week to relax.
But what's the future of this project, though?
So we have signed a memorandum of understanding with CSIR to help further refine the projects that comes to the finals and then bring it to the market for commercialization.
Oh, that's
with their
good.
projects, we will also need the help of the Ghana Health Service to also come on board and then partner with CSIR and the Commission to be able to bring this project out.
Wow.
And any other investors that are out there, anybody who wants to invest, help them bring this project to life in the country, we are open to that.
And indeed, if you are interested in financing this to make it marketable in any area of the country, please see us. We're here for you. And then what's the impact so far? I'm sure you've been hearing a lot of stories. What's the impact?
Well, for now, the 2022 project, CSIR has finished refining it, and they are trying to get the patent rights to the project before they invite investors in, so that at least we are able to protect the ideas of the students before investors come in and then maybe take the idea away from them and then transform it. Is when an investor comes in and helps promote the project, they will also be recognized as part of the founding members of the project that is coming to the market for commercial.
Wow, and so far that is done, or it's in the
we are
pipeline?
waiting for feedback from the patenting authority.
Oh, wow.
Forward.
And so you're expecting a lot more of that to come through. And we're looking forward to the next edition, really. I know that the planning stage is still underway, but I'll come back to you for your final words on that. Tell us what we should expect in the next edition. But let me come back to my boys in the studio. I'm sure this whole project gave you a lot of sleepless nights. Let me start with my choir master on my left. Hey, and your voice, are you in the choir?
No, I'm not.
Hey, can you hear the voice? No, but really, how has it been, though? What lessons have you learned?
It's been very tiresome, the entire journey, from the very beginning to the very end. I think we've put a lot into the project and we've definitely reaped the benefits. Lessons learned are many. I think one was definitely not to procrastinate, because that led...
You all agree, eh? Yeah. I see how you're smiling.
that led to more than 90% of the sleepless nights.
Okay.
As a matter of fact. So I think we have to be more timely with how we approach things. And looking at the lessons we've learned, I think we've learned from each other. The biggest lesson was learning from the entire team. Because an idea here, an idea there, the project wouldn't have come to life without the entire team. I think everyone's input was very critical in presenting it in the final. I think that was the biggest lesson I've learned from the entire journey.
And you, Francis?
Okay, I would say that it is very important for you to listen to feedback from others, especially in your field of domain. I think most of the time it may seem like you know best what to do. But then I think as we were building the project, there were many times when I had to take my time and then listen to feedback from the rest of the team. And I think I remember one situation where Edu gave me a suggestion, and it led to significant increase in our productivity. Right? Yeah. So I've definitely learned to listen to the input of other teammates, especially when it comes to things that you may not necessarily deem them as expecting.
And Edu, what have you learned?
Coming to the school, I actually wanted to be part of the SMQ team.
Okay.
Go to the classroom, I was in the quiz class, and couldn't still join. But I met this wonderful family, and I guess school, PRESEC was not just about an SMQ. That's something I learned. There are other things to PRESEC, something like the Energy Commission's challenge, and everyone should keep an eye out. That's all I'll see for the boys in PRESEC.
What should we expect from you moving forward, though? All three of you. I'd like to start from you, Edu.
Oh, bigger things, I would see, very, very massive things.
And what do you plan to be in future, though?
Oh,
tech-related?
Business and tech. Yeah, I think that would be very nice.
Business and tech. This guy's about to make money. And then how about you?
I have a very strong interest in artificial intelligence.
I see.
I think the unique selling point of our project is our AI assistant.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. And so it was a very good experience having the field developing the product around artificial intelligence. And so I'm really excited for the future of AI, and I hope to be a part of it.
Okay. And you?
So I'm interested in renewable energy when it comes to the automobile industry.
Hey, it seems I have to go to this school. What kind of pressure is this? No more lawyers, I want to be a doctor. Hey, pressure, Benny. Okay, tell me more.
So not particularly electric vehicles.
Okay.
But let's say hydrogen-powered vehicles that don't run necessarily off fossil fuels. So exploring other ways of propelling vehicles, both aerospace and ground vehicles.
And I'm sure you're all thankful to your teachers who helped you through the process.
Yes.
That is one thing you miss, though. Now, Edu, you want to say that for us? Mention their names and give them all the credit they deserve.
Okay. I would say our patron, Sir Pascal. He needs a words can't explain.
Aww. Let me say the all for you. Aww.
The things he has done, sacrificing his time, sacrificing his money. Sometimes, like, he think he's angry at you and stuff, but I used to go to him, he's still open, and he pushed for this project to actually come to life, and I'm grateful he was around for.
Thank you. Let me wrap up with Beatrice. What should we expect moving forward? Dennis? Yes.
So I think that when we started with 29 schools as a pilot. Here to 2025, we have 120 schools, and the interest is picking up. So renewable energy is not something that is going to go away anytime soon. It is something that has come to stay. So I think when the theme comes out, all schools should endeavor to participate, because you never know where this competition might take you. It is not just about coming to chew and pour what you know. It's about merging what you know and doing it with your hands to be able to prove that it can actually work. It helps the things that are being taught in class stay with you better, and you are able to understand it well. So I will entreat that all schools should participate in this contest. And we would also want to entreat that all companies should endeavor to sponsor and then help us to be able to push this project forward.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. And I'm sure by the time you start your new entries, you'll be here to promote it so that all the schools can know how they can be a part of it. Well, my boys on my far right, I hear you have some Jama for me. It's time for us to wrap up the show. And I am leaving them with you. They'll do us the honors of giving us their anthem or any Jama song you have for us, our entertainment prefects. And in fact, today they are wrapping up the show. So I will let Francis wrap up the show and hand over to them. Then I'm out of here. I don't exist at this point in time. So Francis, please wrap up the show for us. Yes, you can.
Then we are out of here. Then we leave the winners to enjoy.
Okay, please, Francis, wrap up for us. Tell them. That's how we wrap up the Pulse.
So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Pulse. We are so grateful for the time that you spent with us. We hope to see you the same time next week.
Yes.
So thank you so much, and I'll leave you with my team.
Hey. Before we go, yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. So over to you.
Illuminate, with every muscle man. In the light, we shall see light. Illuminate, with every muscle man. Consistent. Students of Presbyterian Secondary. All the marching travel to Bible to victory.
Okay, bye. We're out of here, please.